Let's jump right into it. Number 7. The book nobody can read. Picture opening a book filled with plants that don't exist, women bathing in green tubes, and text written in a language nobody on Earth can understand. That's the Voynich manuscript, a 600-year-old codex that looks less like medieval science and more like Dr. Seuss went rogue. Every page is packed with bizarre illustrations, alien-looking flowers, star charts, naked figures swimming in pipes. And the writing? A script so unique it might as well be Comic Sans for wizards. For centuries, scholars, code breakers, and even World War II cryptographers have tried to crack it. They've thrown every trick in the book at it. Frequency analysis, pattern matching, even supercomputers. The result? Nothing. The text refuses to play nice. It's like trying to solve a crossword puzzle, where the clues are written in Klingon. Some scientists argue it's an elaborate medical guide. Others think it's an alchemy manual. And of course, there are the aliens did it fans. But here's the part that makes modern science squirm. Even AI trained on billions of words can't get a foothold. It's gibberish. That isn't gibberish. The manuscript now sits locked in Yale University's library, a book that mocks every attempt to read it. So is it a lost medieval language, an ancient hoax, or the world's longest practical joke? Whatever it is, the Voynich manuscript still holds its secrets, and science still can't turn the first page. Number 6. The civilization that ghosted history. Picture walking through Central America 1,000 years ago. Towering pyramids, bustling cities, calendars more accurate than your iPhone. The Maya were thriving, then suddenly silence. By the 9th century, dozens of major cities were abandoned. No war, no plague, just an entire civilization ghosting history. At their peak, the Maya built sprawling cities like Tikal and Palenque. They carved stone calendars and tracked the stars with eerie precision. Then, within a couple of centuries, their great cities were left to the jungle. It's like New York, Tokyo, and London all getting abandoned and nobody leaving a note. So, what happened? Scientists have plenty of theories. Some say severe droughts devastated crops. Others point to overfarming and deforestation. Add in constant warfare and you've got a recipe for collapse. But none of these fully explain why such a powerful advanced culture unraveled so completely. Archaeologists dig up evidence of reservoirs and water systems, suggesting the Maya tried to adapt. Climate scientists drill lake beds and find layers pointing to megadroughts. The clues line up, but the full story still slips away. It's like having puzzle pieces from 3 different boxes and trying to make one picture. Even today, millions of Maya descendants live across Central America, but the story of why their cities were abandoned remains one of history's greatest riddles. So was it climate change, war, or something stranger that brought down the Maya? Science is still trying to connect the dots. Number 5. The giant puzzle in a field. Picture walking through the English countryside and suddenly running into a circle of rocks so massive they look like a giant forgot to clean up his toys. That's Stonehenge, 25-ton slabs stacked neatly like prehistoric Jenga. Built over 4,000 years ago, it's older than the pyramids. The stones were dragged from miles away, some all the way from Wales, 150 miles off. That's like ordering building materials on Amazon, and they arrive by foot. Archaeologists point to logs, sledges, and sheer manpower. But rolling stones that big on logs would be like trying to skateboard an elephant across wet grass. Modern experiments tried it with teams of volunteers. The stones barely budged, and the volunteers collapsed faster than a bad boy band reunion. Science hasn't looked that embarrassed since New Coke. The arrangement isn't random either. The stones line up exactly with sunrise and sunset on the solstices, turning the whole site into a prehistoric observatory. These weren't just rock haulers, they were astronomers tracking the heavens without telescopes. Imagine building NASA with nothing but rocks and rope. Science has thrown archaeology, astronomy, and engineering at Stonehenge, and it still won't spill its secrets. The stones just sit there, weather-beaten but smug, daring us to figure them out. Stonehenge hasn't moved in 4,000 years, but it still rocks modern science, harder than any concert ever could. Number 4. History's tightest jigsaw. Picture a stone wall so perfectly built you can't even slip a human hair between the blocks. No cement, no glue, just rock locking into rock like it was designed by a giant puzzle master. In Peru, the Inca carved massive stones, some the size of cars, and fitted them together so snugly they've survived earthquakes that flatten modern buildings. It's basically an indestructible ancient Lego, except each block weighs a few tons. The most famous piece? A 12-angled stone in Cusco that fits tighter than your jeans after Thanksgiving dinner. Meanwhile, modern contractors still can't lay bathroom tiles without grout lines. So how did the Inca manage this? Without steel tools, wheels, or cranes? Archaeologists say they pounded the stones with harder rocks, but shaping granite this way would be like sculpting a diamond with a butter knife. Others suggest they softened the stones with mysterious plants, or even poured them like ancient concrete. Scientists tested these ideas, but none explain the flawless joints, or why the stones locked together like a 3D jigsaw puzzle designed by aliens. Even today's engineers admit that replicating this at scale would be a nightmare. Sure, we have bulldozers to move the rocks, but cutting and fitting them with this kind of accuracy? That part still stumps science. So was it lost technology, an ingenious trick with materials, or just a building secret the Incas took with them? We still don't know. Number 3. The jungle city that ate an explorer. Imagine heading into the Amazon to find a hidden city and never coming back. That's exactly what happened to Percy Fawcett, a British explorer who vanished in 1925 while searching for what he called the lost city of Z. He believed the Amazon once held a great civilization, not just scattered tribes, but a city buried under the vines. What convinced him such a city existed? First, an old Portuguese document he dug up in Brazil's National Library, manuscript 512. Written in 1753, it described ruins buried in the jungle. Arches, statues, even a temple carved with strange symbols. But it wasn't just dusty parchment. Local tribes also told Fawcett stories about hidden cities swallowed by the forest. To Fawcett, that wasn't myth. It was evidence. So in 1925, he set off on his final expedition and disappeared. No camp, no gear, not even a compass was left behind. It was like the jungle slammed the door shut behind him. Scientists at the time laughed him off. They argued the Amazon's soil was too poor to support big cities. To them, Fawcett was just chasing a jungle fairy tale. But now, satellites and drones are proving otherwise. Vast networks of earthworks, roads, and settlements have been spotted from above, suggesting millions once lived here. So was Fawcett a reckless dreamer? Or was he one of the first to glimpse a truth science is only now catching up to? The Amazon still hides its secrets, and the city Fawcett died searching for remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Number 2. The city that sank without a trace. Picture a city so advanced it had palaces, canals, and technology that would have made the ancient world jealous. Now imagine it all disappearing overnight, like the ocean hit the uninstall button. That's the story of Atlantis, first told by the philosopher Plato around 360 BC. He described a massive island nation with glittering temples, war fleets, and more wealth than anyone could imagine. But in his tale, Atlantis got too powerful, too arrogant, and the gods punished it by sinking it into the sea. For centuries, people argued it was just philosophy dressed up as myth, but Atlantis refused to die. Treasure hunters, mystics, and scientists have all gone chasing after it, like history's biggest Where's Waldo puzzle. The theories stretch everywhere. Maybe it was the Minoans on Santorini, wiped out by a volcanic explosion. Maybe it was lost cities swallowed by tsunamis in Spain or Morocco. Or maybe Plato just made it up as a warning story, the ancient Greek version of a cautionary Netflix drama. Modern science has scanned ocean floors, studied volcanic craters, and searched ruins across the Mediterranean, and every discovery gets a headline before fizzling out into more questions. And that's the magic of Atlantis. Whether it was real, a memory of lost civilizations, or just Plato spinning a story, it refuses to die. Atlantis sank once, but it's still out there, floating in our imagination, mocking science every time it comes up empty-handed. Number 1. The lost colony of Roanoke. Picture this, you sail back to the New World after a long supply trip, eager to see your colony, and the entire settlement has disappeared. That's exactly what happened in 1590 when English settlers returned to Roanoke Island, today's North Carolina. Over 100 colonists had been living there, men, women, and children, but the village was empty. No bodies, no battle, no signs of struggle. It was like the earth hit backspace and erased them. The only clue? A single word carved into a post, Croatoan, basically the 16th century version of leaving a sticky note before ghosting forever. So what happened? Some historians think the colonists merged with nearby Native American tribes. Others say they tried to sail back to England and didn't make it. And of course, there are the wilder theories. Spanish raids, starvation, even alien abductions. Because why not? Modern science has gone digging for answers. Archaeologists found broken pottery and tools miles away, hinting that the colonists may have split up and integrated with tribes. DNA testing has even been used to trace possible descendants. But none of it fully explains how an entire colony could vanish so cleanly. 4 centuries later, Croatoan remains the most frustratingly short mystery note in American history. So was Roanoke wiped out by war, absorbed peacefully, or erased by something stranger? Science has theories, but no final answer. That's all for now. Subscribe to see what's coming next, hit like, or start a comment debate. It all helps.